Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Ravnica Rotisserie Draft match. I'm Dom. I'm being joined by the nasty Azorius Overlord Michael Smith, who just defeated me soundly in 2 games. What's going on?
Performing the role of the villain. Pretty good.
Yeah, we didn't get that match on camera. Lost to Cyclonic Rift game 1 and then 2 Mulligans, who basically game 2. So I'm now alone in last place. Here I've got Hunter and Yuuki. They both won their first round. So Yuuki defeated me last week, which apparently is not that hard to do. And Hunter is on. He beat Scott's Abzan tokens deck. So, what do we think of Hunter's opening hand?
Looks like we got a mulligan from Yuuki.
Yeah, his hand isn't loaded quite right on my screen yet. There we go. Yeah, he has no lands. Hunter's hand seems good, even if he doesn't draw the second red right
So
away. He has a 2-drop, another 2-drop from the Chainwalker. Do we know
give
who?
Yuuki a mulligan. Oh, he did. Oh, he still has Doorkeeper. That's a strong play here.
So he's down to 5 now.
Yes.
All right, so we've got a Codex Shredder to start things.
And we got Hunter's Rebel lands here.
At least Yuki has action. Like he's got the Doorkeeper and the Codex Shredder, so even he can start working on Hunter's library. I don't think this is really a super great matchup though, because he's have to win pretty quick. Hunter's got the beatdowns.
Yuuki did not scry from his mulligans.
Oh, that's awkward. Easy to forget. I've seen people forget still. So Firefish Striker is a pretty strong draw here, I think, actually, because I can threaten to make that Doorkeeper not block, which
Yes.
seems pretty reasonable. Another land for Yuki.
Got a 2-card mill per turn now.
Yeah, he's probably going to need a little more than that.
Yes.
Gideon, Champion of Justice. That's one that did not see a ton of play in Standard, or really any format. Still needs another white before he can cast that.
Legionnaire comes down.
That makes sense to me. Can get a attack for 2 here, and then next turn he can, if he wants, he can just play the Ash Zealot and then have Battalion. So this will drop Yuki to 18, first actual damage of the game. He mills Pyre Wild Shaman and Flame or Fire Main Avenger. So if the game goes long, he can get Pyre Wild Shaman back. There's a hazard of milling graveyard based synergies. He drew Giant Solifuge.
I think that's the play.
Yeah,
Seems good.
I don't think this game's gonna go on for very much longer. So you can just get in for 8 right now.
Yuki has drawn mono land.
Yeah. Do you know this card was a thing? The Giant Solifuge, like, was it played in constructed decks?
Yes, it was.
Like, it seems like it should be good enough. Right, so Doorkeeper can't block. Yuki falls to 10. So he's probably just dead next turn if he doesn't draw anything. Aurelia's Fury and Mountain get milled at the end of turn. And he draws Consult the Necrosages. So I guess he can draw 2 cards. I don't know what he's drawing to. Island Watery Grave. So far, the matches we've shown on camera have been pretty atrocious. Like, one person's just drawn completely terribly almost every game.
So, what do you think's going to come in?
We're just headed there already. Yeah, I guess the game's over. Sure, I'll pull up the deck list.
Yeah, there it goes.
All right, here is Yuki's. So we've got. So he's got Pack Rat. It seems like a good card. Same with Jace. Maybe these cards should be in the main deck, huh?
Maybe Crypting. Is that good enough?
Far and Away is probably fine. Even like Dimir Charm can kill some little creature.
Power Flesh.
Yeah, I'm just not sure how this deck sideboards. Like, can he sideboard into just a control deck? Because he could take out a lot of these mill cards. I don't know if he's going to be able to mill his opponent fast enough here.
I think Circuit, Psychic Spiral, Murmuring Phantasm, all those cards can go away.
Yeah, maybe he's going to look a little more like a quote-unquote normal deck. But all right, let's look at Blue Boros here. Hunter has a Mnemonic Nexus in his sideboard. Seems like he should board that in. I'm pretty sure that's the matchup he took that card for. So I'm not sure when else he would play it. He could board into the Wear and Tear if he wants to get rid of the Codex Shredder, although there's actually not that many targets. Assemble the Legion's good in a long game. Maybe if he thinks Yuki's going to board into like an actual control deck, he'll probably want to Assemble the Legion.
You think Catch and Release will come in?
What? Oh, Catch Release. Maybe that one's well, it's like 3 mana to steal something, and then if you pay 6, you can sacrifice it and deal some damage or something.
Yeah, but the 6 is each player sacrifices an artifact, creature, enchantment, land, and planeswalker.
Oh, okay.
So kind of like a 6 mana Stone Rain.
That's not too great, but could be better. It's probably better than like Smite. There's a few cards in here he probably doesn't want. He doesn't have that many dead cards. Well, even stuff like Electrolyze probably isn't actually good, but he can at least cast it for damage or attack with his creatures. I think he's pretty well set up for this matchup. I wouldn't be surprised if this is just Yuki's worst matchup in the league, actually.
Likely.
He could board in Annihilating Fire if he's just trying to end the game faster, but I think he just wants all his draws to do relevant things. Like, if he just gets something out of his spells, it's probably in good shape. But let's get back to the match.
This looks like a much better opening hand out of Yuki.
Yeah, he's got 3 lands, Night Veil Spectre, Murmuring Phantasm, and he has Bob. Even though it's not the correct art for Bob.
Nah, I disagree.
You disagree? You like that one? Okay.
Yes.
I haven't actually played with either one very much, so.
I don't like my cards looking back at me.
Hunter looks like he basically has perfect mana here also. He has the Ash Cell at turn 2.
He drew the mountain he needed for it.
Oh, yeah. I guess he had, well, could have played Wojak Halberdiers on 2 if he wanted.
Yes.
So you could either cast an 05 or play like one of the greatest cards ever printed, so I'm guessing he's going to cast the Bob here. I guess he could be worried about like losing to it, but he should be able just to jump at some point. I think Hunter's going to attack him on the ground.
Yes.
And there it is. Another mountain. So should Hunter cast the Zealot or the Halberdiers?
Zealot. Halberdiers are likely just going to trade with the Dark Confidant.
Right. That was my thinking too. I know we played Hallowed Fountain. Shows how much we know. I don't hate it if you could put 2 haste creatures into play next turn, but I don't think he's capable of doing that. Let's see what Bob reveals. Lore Broker. Each player gets to loot.
I think that's more of a downside than an upside.
Yeah. Like, it sort of mills them, but it also helps them find relevant cards against you.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing Nightveil Spectre is going to come down here. He doesn't know, but I know if he plays the Murmuring Phantasm. I was going to say the Nightveil Spectre can block the Ash Zealot, no problem.
Aggressive with the Dark Confidant.
Yeah. Getting aggressive. Does he just, like, want it to die? It seems like a little early for that. Yeah, Hunter's going to block. Like, I think he probably wants to make that trade, even though usually he doesn't want to make trades. Boros Reckoner off the top. That's actually pretty ineffective against the 05.
Yeah, but next turn he can play the Zealot and leave up Spell Rupture.
Uh-huh.
Just being as mana efficient as possible.
Yuuki's land to non-land draw step ratio in this match should be pretty high, I would imagine.
He just does not want to play this Nightveil Spectre.
Yeah, just casting Lore Broker. He doesn't really have a mana-efficient way to play any of his turns.
Well, if he went Spectre on turn 3, he could have played Lore Broker
and the Phantasm now. Yeah, that's quite possibly better. Alright, so here's Ash Zealot from Hunter. Are there any cards in this format that let you flash something back for that second ability?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. Ash Zealot's gonna get across for 2 damage here. That's gonna drop Yuuki to 16.
I'm surprised Scott's deck is still in the deck. 7 mana is really ambitious.
Yeah. Yeah, against the aggro deck. I'm gonna play Night Veil Spectre now. Yep.
Get mana leaked?
Um.
No.
Yeah. Apparently not. I guess like he has War Leader's Helix, but I'm not sure if that's what he wants to target with War Leader's Helix. Hunter's starting to get a little bit flooded himself. He doesn't need 5 or 6 lands most games. So where's this game headed? Like, what's both players' end games here? So I feel like neither player's really gotten a big edge on the other.
Hunters might be the guild leader of Boros with its haste, vigilance, flying, and extra combat steps.
Oh, I think she's in his sideboard. I guess he could
Right.
have brought it in. um, Alright, so Lore Broker is activated. Hunter draws Sky Knight Legionnaire, while Yuuki draws Grizzly Spectacle. I think that's advantage Yuuki.
Yes.
He might just want to mind grind for 4 here. It's just like he has a good window. Although it's probably going to get countered. But it's an efficient turn, and then he wants to cast Zodek on 7. And he's probably going to get there if he wants to. Between the Night Veil Spectre hitting and the Lore Broker activation and the draw step. Firefish Striker gets exiled by the Spectre. Probably not what he wanted. Oh, my bad. He had actually already played a land, so he could have only cast my grind for 3, I think.
Yes.
For some reason, I thought he hadn't played a land yet. But I guess Hunter's made all of them. And no, Yuuki was on the play, and Hunter's made all his land drops. So I'm pretty sure he just forgot to play a land. I'll have to go look at that again later. But here's Sky Knight Legionnaire, so it's going to hit back for 2. Now Hunter is attacking with everything. Oh yeah, because now there's no good blocker for the Ash Solid. But I think Grizzly Spectacle is going to take out the Reckoner here.
Rupture.
Yep. A lot of arrows in play right now.
Maybe Yuki's holding that land to loot.
Oh yeah, that's possible. Burrowing Phantasm, I don't think can block both of those creatures. I assume it's going to block the Reckoner. How did Yuuki take 12?
Don't know.
I think he took 4. Okay, there we go. Yeah. The Hunter's at 16, Yuki's at 12. Someday I'm going to remember to update the score sooner than like the middle of the next game. And Doorkeeper comes down. So I think that gives Yuuki good blockers on everything now.
Yes.
He's just not getting any mills in. Although I guess a doorkeeper mills for 2. Yuuki also has convolute for anything that Hunter does that might be scary. Does frontline medic do anything here?
No.
Okay. That was easy enough. I guess it counters Mind Grind.
Other than that, it's a 3/3 for 3.
Yeah. There's the indestructible ability is not really relevant because Yuki's creatures don't have much power anyway. I guess it could get the Sky Knight Legionnaire to not die when it attacks. But it's not like he's pushing some damage across at this point. So you can cast Frontline Medic and True Fire Paladin if he just wants to try to flood the board. Here comes Boros.
You think he's going for a Helix on this Phantasm?
Maybe. The post-combat True Fire Paladin and Frontline Medic. I guess he was just seeing if... I guess it was a free attack, basically. And we're slowing down now, it looks like. I always thought True Fire Paladin was like right on the border of being playable in some standard deck somewhere, and it never was.
Fire breathing first strike, dude, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's just some. I guess it's 2 mana intensive, or was for that format, but it's gonna get convoluted here. Is Yuuki afraid of the pump ability? Probably.
Yes. It'll be the only relevant creature on this board for Hunter.
But we've got Frontline Medic. This does prevent Yuuki from activating the Doorkeeper, unless he also played it this turn. I'm not even sure. It was a long turn.
Nope, it was summoning sick.
It was summoning sick, okay. Okay, so Lore Broker.
I think you get rid of the Scout deck. Like, if you're pitching lands...
Yeah, I agree. It seems like pitching lands and keeping your expensive cards isn't that great of a strategy. Hunter drew Fireman Avenger, and I think is trying to decide what to discard. He discards the Warrior Helix. Yeah, the Fireman Avenger can attack through this board.
Well, it can attack, kill the Spectre, and the Flyers go through.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. No, I think if Hunter's paying attention, he'll keep this land in hand and discard to the Lore Broker. Yep. Alright, so here comes everybody. Frontline Medic's going to trigger. So all these creatures are indestructible. And it looks like that's going to get 2 damage across. Alright, so now we've got Fireman Avenger post-combat. That's going to resolve, as we know. Now, this, I think, is actually a problem. Yuki's going to have to answer this. Lore Broker finds Giant Solifuge and Balustrade Spy. I think Yuki might just need to... Well, he can activate the Doorkeeper. I think he just needs to aggressively start milling and hope he gets there before he dies.
Yes, I agree.
Milled Electrolyze and Char. Is a Dimir Aqueduct. Yugi did discard Zodek, Lord of Secrets. Alright, so he's going to play Balustrade Spy.
Now, the Ravnica bounce lands are a nice combo with looting.
Yeah. So Mnemonic Nexus gets milled along with a couple other cards, and so that's not bad. Yuki's gonna have to play the island here, not the bounce land, if he wants to activate Doorkeeper.
Plays neither.
Yeah, that just seems wrong. Because if you're gonna do that, you might as well play the Aqueduct so you get an extra mana on your mind grind.
Yes.
We also might be able to see. So Hunter has 4 lands in his graveyard and 5 in place. He still has 8 lands in his deck, so he has a lot of lands left. And here comes Giant Solifuge. Yeah, so I don't think this mind grind is gonna do it. I think Hunter's probably gonna get there.
No, what can happen is Yuki loots into both Glimpse and Breaking and Entering.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the thing. He's gonna have to get like Fire Main U.
Damn.
Hunter gains 3 very irrelevant life points. Alright, so Murmuring Phantasm is gonna block the 4/1. And he can put Doorkeeper on the Reckoner, and then I guess you put Night Veil Spectre on a 2/2, and Balustrade Spine a 2/2, and then you take 6 and go to 1, maybe?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Alright, so Night Veil Spectre is on the Sky Knight. Although that Giant Solifuge has Trample, though, so that's actually pretty scary. He's gonna have to Lore Broker into something really good here. I think if he draws Glimpse,
Oh,
what?
he blocks the frontline medic.
Oh, okay.
Ah,
He drew a land.
no
If
good
he,
loot.
I think he can still draw Glimpse and then Mind Grind for 3, and I think that's Xyz's actually. Oh no, he only Mind Grind for 2 because he didn't play a land this turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So
Which would be nearly the same as
yeah.
just activating door.
Yeah. Yeah, he really needed the Doorkeeper activation here. Because now I think he might just be drawing dead. No, that's not gonna do it. I don't think the Necro Sages have any useful advice here. Attack with Night Veil Spectre. Maybe
Mills
there's.
one.
Yeah, oh yeah, that is worth a card, I guess. Maybe there's some blue card he can hit that he can cast. Compulsive Research? Maybe?
You get Hunter draw 3.
No,
Seems better,
he's
but
casting Mind Grind. Unless I'm very bad at math, this cannot possibly win the game. It's interesting he boarded in Martial Glory.
not bad. Yeah, the block with the lore keeper and not playing the land was
Yeah, if he had those
was
extra 2 mana, like he could have even cast a Compulsive Research, I think, and had a chance.
yes.
So yeah, I think might have tripped up a bit at the last turn or two there. He
Yeah,
still
and Hunter would
basically had to draw a glimpse.
yeah, but Hunter also would have been at 3 less cards in his library
Uh-huh.
by jumping that much.
Hello?
Hey.
Okay, there you go. But so yeah, I know I missed some land drops. At one point I was holding on to an expensive card far too long and was actually getting rid of lands rather than getting rid of the expensive card, which I could have been putting down lands for the mind grind.
That and also the questionable block on that last turn.
With Floor Broker.
Yeah.
I was thinking it through and I was thinking like, okay, I might be able to buy myself one more turn if I make that block. Where if I didn't, then I was definitely like down to 2 turns.
Like
that
you're not
indestructibility kind of slipped my mind as well. I kept thinking like I can block and kill the 2/2, and then like the first turn where it didn't get destroyed, I was like, oh shit, that's right.
Yeah.
I missed that I did the math and thought he would be dead exactly. I missed that he could block the Solar Fuge and keep his guys alive. Or I might have actually shot something with the Avenger.
Uh-huh.
That's what I was actually expecting as well. When you hit me, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought it was exact damage.
Oh, yeah, that first game was just, I couldn't do anything.
We've had a high percentage of non-games on the stream in this tournament. Like, you drew like land every turn except for one, Consult the Necrosages, which the 7 card hand had 0 lands in it. The 6 card hand had 1 land in it, and I couldn't play anything. And then the third one was reasonable, and then I just drew nothing but lands. I also forgot to scry. Okay, I was gonna ask you that if we just didn't see it, or if you missed the scry.
Yeah, no, I completely forgot to scry until like 3 or 4 turns in.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have helped. You guys saw I drew nothing but lands.
Right.
So even if I scried, it would have just gotten me, if anything, 1 non-land at the very end, if that.
If at all.
Second game, if I didn't misplay and keep the that was his name, Sezdek. If I didn't keep Sezdek in my hand and just got rid of him like the first Lore Broker and just had the lands to put down, then I probably would have had a better mind grind at the end. But also Hunter, I feel like Hunter kind of got lucky in the sense that he didn't have all of those lands early on that I milled.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting mind grind ever to resolve, actually.
What was that?
Is it a frontline medic?
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't even think about that. I guess that's a legal target.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I was wondering about that because I was like, he had a card somewhere that I'm pretty sure he could like counter an X spell.
Yeah, I thought you just
and
let it
resolve
resolve
it anyways
because you knew it couldn't kill you. It was like, yeah, we were doing the math, and at one point you had 8 out of the last 14 cards in the deck were lands.
Yeah. Yeah, I already kind of just had the intuitive knowledge that like this isn't gonna work, but screw it, let's do it anyways.
Right.
I mean, I did have the Boros Charm in hand just to win on upkeep if needed.
Uh-huh. At least that one was a game.
Yeah,
like we didn't know who was going to win for most of the game, unlike most of the other games that we've streamed.
So many walls.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the other thing. Even if you not played the bounce land, you could have at least played the island and used the doorkeeper. That one turn.
That was the other thing. I missed that land drop entirely. Like, that was my intention. I was going to play a Balustrade and then bounce back one of the lands I tapped down. And then I just blanked on doing that. I didn't play a land at all afterwards.
That is one of the nice things on Magic Online is, like, your lands will be lit up in your hand if you haven't played one this turn. But if you have, then it'll just, like, dim and you can't play it. So, harder to miss land drops on there. Hunter, did you think... we talked about... whether you'd play Ash Zealot or Wojak Halberdiers on turn 2. Was there any thought in why one over the other?
Yeah, I guess I was just thinking of more damage long term. Like after 2 turns, it pays for itself, sort of.
We were just thinking it was just going to immediately trade with a Dark Confidant.
What did you think of him attacking with the Confidant? That seemed real, like, aggro.
I didn't like it.
We were a little
I
surprised.
actually did that because I actually didn't want to sit there and just lose a lot of life from Dark Confidant while Hunter was attacking me. So I was just like, I'm going to swing in with it. If he doesn't block, then I'm going to get some extra damage off. If he does block it, then I'm not losing more life as I draw more cards.
I don't think Hunter should have blocked.
Yeah, it seemed like maybe it was a little... Like, I understand that line of thinking, and you probably don't want to go take more than, like, maybe 4 or 5 damage off of it, but I thought it was maybe a little too soon. And then he also just has to attack you on the ground. Like, his deck only has a couple of fires.
Well, if he didn't end up blocking with it and he just let the damage go through and then hit me for 3, I had the wall, so he really couldn't.
At the same time, if you...
But I would have just left it at that point to block and sacrifice to his guy.
Yeah. At the same time, it is bad if you flip your 7-drop to it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they're just... If he leaves it alone, he might just win off a Dark Confidant.
Yeah.
Killing you.
Like, if it was a slower deck I was playing against, I probably would have had no issue leaving it out, but he was playing, like, a really quick aggro-ish beatdown, so I was just like, I really don't want Dark Confidant to give me, like... If I get 2 cards, then that's fine. If I get 1 card and kill a card, I'm fine with that as well.
Right, that's why you would want to block. That way it's on your terms when it dies, because he can just let it attack him for 2, and he's going to win the race.
I mean, that's why I was kind of leaving it up at that point. It wasn't so much like I was thinking about racing damage. It was so much thinking of, like, it's either going to be a kill spell or it's going to give me 2 cards and then be a kill spell. And I'm not so greedy that I want to necessarily get 2 cards at some cost of life.
Right, which is why you leave it on defense and force him to attack into it.
I had no guarantee he was going to attack, but it was also at a wall. So, I mean, there's, like, no real merit to him attacking, which is why if I left it there to defend, he was just going to leave it there and it was going to ping me.
Right. That's why Hunter wouldn't have blocked either.
Did you say you didn't like blocking it, though? Like, I don't want him to draw a million cards either.
He's just going to die to it.
I guess.
He can't cast spells on time. He can't.
It's pretty weird how...
That was the other thing. It was early on. I was just like, I don't know if I'm even going to be able to play the cards I'm drawing from him.
I think it's pretty clear.
Yeah. I mean, I put the ball in his court. I do understand that point, but I had no issue in that situation of putting the ball in his court. It's just like whatever happens, I'll work with either result.
Because, Hunter, you don't care about your life total.
Really, no, but I care about him having
about me getting cards.
Yeah.
Cards. Not too much. His average converted mana cost is ridiculously high.
Anyway. Do we have any... Were there any other questions? I think I asked everything that I thought of.
My only other decision I paused for a couple of seconds was whether to discard Warleader's Helix or Fireman Avenger, but I thought Fireman was probably a pretty clear keep.
Yeah, we thought that was better.
Another thing I tried to do with my sideboarding options was try to get in a bit more like creature-based control. So like it took out Psychic Spiral, assuming I wasn't going to have that much in my graveyard. It took out a 2/3 that cost 4, and it took out Whispering Madness because I didn't see Searching Library. Threw in Dimir Charm to either counter a sorcery or kill a weak creature, Grizzly Spectacle to kill and mill, and Consuming Aberration as a creature that I would imagine would be relatively large because I'd be milling creatures. But I also feel like I didn't see that much of my control, which would have been nice.
Yeah, we speculated that you might do something sort of along those lines. It seemed like it made sense. Like, just basically being on, like, if you look at mill as burn, like, if you're on the burn analogy, just like, okay, mill you a few cards isn't going to be fast enough most of the time. In that specific matchup.
Yeah.
Let's see what I do. Brought in Mnemonic Nexus because that's what the matchup that it's for. Martial Glory to punch through some walls. Spell Rupture to stop his big end game. And I think Turn Burn just because it was better than the alternative.
Oh.
You had Char to deal with the Dark Confidant. You could have killed it on your own terms and never.
Say again, if I had Charm? You were saying I could kill Dark Confidant whenever?
No, Hunter had Charm.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, me charming my own Bob to not die to it sounds like a terrible idea.
Do what you gotta do.
I have to get, what, 3 draws out of it at least for that to not be completely, like, card disadvantage?
I think that's all I had.
Okay, well, thanks to the people who watched, and we'll be back next week with some more matches and hopefully less sunburn on my end, and we'll see you next time.